Who is this actually good for? Who should skip it, and is it worth the price for a regular everyday buyer? If you're standing in the aisle of a big box gym wondering whether a full-size Smith machine can live in your garage, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'm about to walk through the real-world considerations that most spec sheets ignore. First off, let's talk about space. The Marcy SM4903 is an all-in-one cage that folds into a fairly compact footprint, but you still need a dedicated area about 88 feet with a clear ceiling height of at least 7 feet. I've seen people try to squeeze it into a cramped basement and end up with the barbell hitting the low ceiling on overhead presses, something that can turn a promising workout into a safety hazard. If you have a spare room, a finished garage, or even a large walk-in closet, the machine will sit comfortably. If your living space is already tight, you'll likely end up fighting the unit more than you're fighting your muscles. Next, consider your training goals. This machine isn't a minimalist power rack. It comes with a built-in bench, a dual-cable pulley system, and a full squat rack. That means you can do everything from bench presses and squats to lat pull-downs and triceps extensions without buying extra equipment. For someone who wants to do a balanced full-body routine at home, say, a busy professional who can't commit to a gym membership, this is a huge convenience. On the other hand, if you're a lifter who mainly focuses on heavy deadlifts, power cleans, or Olympic lifts, the fixed bar path of a Smith machine can feel restrictive, and you might be better off with a free weight rack plus a separate cable station. Let's get into the actual setup experience. Unboxing the SM4903 is a weekend project. The frame arrives in several large pieces, all bolted together with heavy-duty hardware. The instructions are fairly detailed, but you still need a friend or a set of power tools to tighten everything securely. I found the biggest hidden trade-off here is the time you'll spend assembling versus the money you save on a pre-assembled gym. If you're comfortable with a bit of DIY, the process is straightforward. If you hate assembling furniture, you might factor in the cost of hiring someone to do it for you. Now, what does daily use look like? Because the machine incorporates a sliding bar, the weight stack is controlled by a single cable that runs through a set of pulleys. In practice, the bar moves in a smooth, predictable arc, which is great for beginners who need that extra safety net. I've watched a friend with limited experience do barbell squats without a spotter, and the machine's built-in safety stops prevented any oops moments. For seasoned lifters, the bar's path can feel slightly restrictive on movements that require natural deviation, such as a low bar squat or a Romanian deadlift. That said, the ability to switch quickly between strength moves and cable work makes it efficient for a high-intensity circuit. Think a 12-minute full-body blast where you do a set of bench presses, slide into a seated row, then finish with a set of squats without changing stations. One practical strength that often gets lost in marketing copy is the stability of the frame during heavy lifts. The Marcy cage uses a steel tube construction with reinforced cross-bracing, and when you lock the base bolts to the floor, it hardly shakes even when you're loading 200 pounds on the squat rack. That level of rigidity is crucial if you're planning to push past the 150-pound mark on compound lifts. Conversely, a common weakness is the cable system's weight stack capacity. The built-in pulley offers about 150 pounds of resistance, which is sufficient for most upper body exercises but may feel limiting for people who want to do heavy lat pull-downs or triceps push-downs. If you need more resistance, you'll have to attach external plates or bands, which adds a layer of complexity. Maintenance is another everyday concern. The moving parts, mainly the bar's guide rails and the cable pulleys, need occasional lubrication to keep the motion smooth. I've found a quick wipe with a light oil once a month keeps the mechanism humming. The bench, which folds out from the rack, has a padded surface that holds up well to regular use, but the upholstery can start to compress after a year of daily bench presses. Replacing the pad isn't a nightmare. The bench is designed to let you swap the foam and fabric without special tools. Let's talk price-to value. The SM4903 sits in the mid-range for home gym setups, typically hovering around the $1, $200, $400 mark. When you break down the cost per piece of equipment, bench, squat rack, cable station, and safety cage. You're essentially buying a small gym in a single unit. If you compare that to purchasing each component separately, the bundled price saves you roughly 1,520% and eliminates the need to hunt for compatible parts. However, the trade-off is the all-in-one design, which means you're locked into the machine's geometry. If you ever